Charles, most welcome. Thank you so much for joining. We are very excited to have you here today. Please do share with us what you do, your name. We want to welcome all of you to the call. Thank you so much for joining in as we continue to discuss how we can be able to bring our businesses back, how we can be able to recover stronger. Most welcome, Carol Amoding. Most welcome, Charles Lagu. Thank you, Doreen Nisima. Thank you so much for joining. Gimbo there. Thank you so much for joining. Grace Tukaire. Thank you. Tukahirwa. Thank you so much for joining. Halima, thank you so much for joining. James Musasizi, thank you so much for joining. Joseph Kalema, we're very excited to have you here. Linda, Lillian, thank you so much for joining. Moses, thank you for joining. Patrick Menya, thank you for joining. Paul Muzungu, thank you so much for joining. Rachel, thank you for joining. Samantha, thank you for joining. Timothy, thank you for joining. Excellent events, thank you for joining. Benjamin Sekamate, thank you for joining. James Siga, thank you. Martha, thank you for joining. We should be starting within the next few minutes. We want a big thank you to all of you for joining us today. We are very honored to have you here. Yes, Charles Patrick tells us he's a dealer in furniture. Patrick, so if you want to have any furniture needs, please reach out to Patrick. Patrick can share your contact if you don't mind, and if people want to reach out to you. I see Joseph Kalema, who is venturing into beekeeping as a business. James, thank you so much for, Joseph, thank you so much for joining. I see Charles Lagu is a veterinarian, and is to consultancy services on livestock veterinary supplies and services. We're excited to have you. Timothy is an IT specialist. We're excited to have you here, Timothy. I see Lillian from Numa. Lillian, I'm happy to see you. Thank you. Say hi to the Numa team. As with you a couple of weeks ago, I'm very excited to see you here, Lillian. Great. We should be starting soon. We usually want to start 5 minutes too, and yeah, we want a big thank you to everyone who has managed to join us this morning. Yeah, it's 6 minutes past. I think we have given a chance to a couple of people to plug in. We should be in a good place to actually start. I request that we rename our devices so that we know who is on the call. Yes, Samantha is into the sells cheap jewelry and skincare products. Samantha, thank you so much for being here. We're very happy to have you. Great. We are at that point when we start off our day. Yes, Paul Muzungu is into Clickstart. Clickstar Limited. Clickstar offers products and services to small and medium businesses, and these include server networking, customized hardware and software, digital marketing. Yeah, clearly you are in this space, and I think you can add to the voice of Liz as she shares with us. Thank you so much for being here. Great. Yeah, Samantha has shared with us what she does. We also have excellent events, event planners and management services for decor and bridal services. Excited to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. Great. So today we are honored to have Elizabeth, who is a marketeer with a diverse expertise, especially in how we can go to the market online. And really today we are going to discuss this interesting topic of how can we be able to sell online. One of the things which is clear is that it is increasingly important that we as businesses have an online presence. So really, Elizabeth is going to take us through a basic class for those of us who haven't entered that space. How do I start? Where do I start? How can I be able to get along with that starting process? Which ones, which platforms work quite a bit in Uganda? Which platforms work for what? That's the conversation we are going to hear from Elizabeth. Elizabeth, without taking any more time, allow me to welcome you to share so that we can be able to learn from you and, in a way, progress with our businesses. Elizabeth, over to
you. Thank you so much, Ronald. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining today's session. I've already been introduced. I'm Elizabeth. I'm a marketer and I do digital marketing. So today's session is going to be a basic class on how to sell online. Very many people experience challenges with setting up their online shops, how to determine their prices, where to get the delivery people, and etc. I prefer this session being really engaging as possible. So if you get any questions, please type them out in the chat. I'll read them then as we continue the session. Yeah. So we shall start with what online selling is. Ronald, yeah. So what online selling is? Online selling is basically, I'm sorry, today I'm not going to be able to show my face, but there's an icon there. So online selling is basically availing products or services to customers in exchange for money. But your products this time around, just like you have a physical shop, you are making them available on the internet, over the internet. People are not coming to your space physically. They are viewing something either on a page or on your website and actually gaining interest. You transact, you make all the transactions online. So some of these things can be buyer to buyer or buyer to seller. And someone would ask me what buyer to buyer means, what buyer to seller means. So B2B means buyer to buyer. These are usually with services. You are a buyer, you purchase this product from someone and you're selling it to someone. And this can be like wholesalers or people who do services like internet, because you're buying the internet from maybe Airtel Uganda, from MTN, and then you're selling it to like a company like Enterprise Uganda. Then buyer to seller, B2C is buyer to consumer or buyer to seller. This is where most of us are really engaged. Buyer to seller is your product or your service is direct, buyer to consumer, is direct to the consumer, to the person who is utilizing it. So you buy, let me say you have a shop, you buy a shoe, you buy a dress, but you're not the person going to actually use that dress. You're also going to sell it to someone and that person will use it. This can also work for beverages or cakes, people in the cake business, or people who sell jewelry. Like you're not the final consumer of your product or your services. So you have to sell directly to the person consuming. Whereas someone who is B2B sells to another person and that person sells to the consumer. So I want to also outline the fact that anything can be sold online, because sometimes people tell you, no, online is for things in fashion, online is for this, online is for that. So anything can be sold online, but only if you break the biases that I've listed below. And one of the things that people are going to tell you, or people actually say, is it is expensive to start and run an online shop. Online shops are the quickest and cheapest things you can invest in your business. All you need is actually time time is expensive, but you don't really need a lot of money. You just need to know the right links, the right pages, the right platforms to actually go to, as we shall share in the future. And for people who may actually find a cost, other people who are going to use websites to sell your products or services, you need to get a website designer and someone to do your coding for you. But if you're going to use social media, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, Snapchat, TikTok, luckily enough, these apps, like the founders have done an excellent job. The founders have done a really excellent job. So we don't even have to pay anything to subscribe to them. Then there's a superstition of someone must be really good with technology, or it has to be an IT person. And I've seen IT people get a lot of money from people telling them, let me set for you up Facebook, let me set for you up Instagram, and all those things. You don't need to be an IT person. As long as you hold a phone and you know how to use a phone, that is all you need. Other things on how the pages operate, how to get your customer insights, they come with time, and we are going to look at all these. Then people actually lie to you that it is less work to sell online than physical shopping. But I'm going to tell you this, that yes, Catherine has requested that we send a recording at the end. I think Ronald is recording, so we shall send it. So yes, there is a superstition that it is less work, but you're going to generate more income. If you're looking at your business being better and creating a brand, which should actually be the reason as to why you're operating online, you don't operate online because you want quick cash. You operate online because you want to create visibility for your business and be a brand that it can actually, your online shop can sustain whatever a physical shop can sustain. So it is going to be it's a lot of work. As we start, I have to tell you that it is a lot of work. You have to be on your research game. You have to find out what your competitors are posting. You have to know what your customers want. You have to know the colors that are appealing to people. So it is a lot of work posting. Even the content creation itself, you coming up with captions, you coming up with hashtags is not going to be easy. From the content creation to dealing with the online customers, because most people find themselves in situations where you have so many people asking you how much, I want this, or placing orders, and they actually do not even buy, and that frustration hits you. So it is not less work, it is more work, because you have to be active. Unlike a physical shop where, I'll open at maybe 9 a.m. and by 5 a.m. I'm closing, with online, you have to be full-time. Your shop is going to be full-time because you have to reply comments, you have to respond to messages and all that stuff, and follow up with your customers. So if you break that bias that people have around there, you're going to be successful in selling online. Yep. So we shall go to the next. Yes, what can be sold online? Like I mentioned, anything can be sold online. Here I outlined fashion items like clothes, bags, jewelry, electronics, anything really, beverages, woodworks, people who are in carpentry, chairs, tables, even services. Online is not only for products that someone can get, people who have services, people who do coaching, who have internet service, laundry services, interior designing. I mean, even if you have something about you that you can put out there, it is very possible as long as you do it the right way. Yeah. So we go to the main thing today, how to sell online. The first step, usually, I believe people who are here, most of you are entrepreneurs and you've come up with all these beautiful ideas. Some people have not. For people who have come up with beautiful ideas, well and good. For people who have not, you'll have to go through this step. Identify the product or the service. And with product identification is do not come online and you want to tap into every market. You want to sell everything. I've seen people who just want to sell everything and just be like a Jumia of sort. So if you are beginning, it is much advisable that you get items that you're sure of. If you have like a shop that has 10 items, sit down, list down all your items and pick like 4 or 3 that you want to start with so that people know you for selling those. If you sell very many things at once, people are going to be very confused. You will not keep at the back of someone's mind when they're looking for something. But if you identify a product or a service and you're like, I'm going to stick to this. I saw someone who is in carpentry. Now, I'm going to use that as an example. Carpentry is something that has very many things. It has kitchen cabins, it has doors, it has beds, it has everything. But if carpentry is the service you're offering, can you at least try to push a certain aspect in carpentry? Let's say furniture that is wardrobes and kitchens. Let's say you're going to be like, I'm going to start by pushing myself for having very good chairs, and people get to know you for that. In the process of identifying your product or service, there's something called a unique selling point. Put yourself in your customer's shoes and think, why would a customer choose me? Because what you're providing, what you're pushing online is not the first, you're not the first, and it's not going to be the customer's first time to see it. So you have to sit down and think, why would someone actually choose me over anyone? I've put an example of Bags by Lizzie. I happen to run an online shop called Bags by Lizzie, and our unique selling point has always been the price and the fact that our bags come as they are in pictures. We avoid posting things that are exaggerated and disappointing the customer on delivery, which is something that happens online because people invest a lot in photography. They edit, they do all these things. And then when the item reaches, people are like, oh my God, this is not what I ordered for. And I know most of us have seen that thing where people put what I ordered versus what I got, what I received. So when you're starting to sell, you don't want to sell when you're on people's what I ordered versus what I got. So down there are some of the reasons why someone would choose you. Your unique selling point can be the price. Maybe you're offering people with a low price compared to many people on the market. It could be the convenience, and this by convenience, I mean in the whole process. How easy is it for me as a customer to place my order? Do I have to first look for the item? Then I have to plead with you to tell me the price. Then when I send you my money, you're taking 2 days in delivering my product. Or you promised me that by this time you'll have this product or service, and then you're not getting it. Are your delivery people also understanding? Because one of the things we do as online sellers is we focus more on pushing ourselves as the business, and we forget that the delivery people are part of our whole customer experience. If you have a very good product, you've handled your customer very well, and someone places an order, but a delivery person can mess it up by just being rude to the customer or asking for an abnormal fare. So the convenience can be part of your unique selling point. How deep do you actually take these products to the people? Am I going to be at my doorstep and it's delivered to me? I'm going to use an example of Stanchart Uganda, the bank. It's one of the few banks that have really embraced this whole digital space. And unlike other banks where you have to go to the bank, make a line, send in your give in your national ID, and then open up an account, Standard Chartered has something where if you're opening up your account online, you don't even need to step into the bank. All you need is to give them the details of where your place is, and your ATM card is delivered to your doorstep, where you tell them, if you tell them I'm in this office, they will deliver your ATM card to you in office. Like, that is what convenience is. So it may not be the best bank with the best rates and everything with very many branches, but now for a customer who likes convenience, they'll be like, I don't want to move. I know StanChart can bring my ATM where I am. So that's good. Then we have consistency. In everything you do, you're going to have to be consistent with, especially the quality of items you're offering. Very many of us start off very good. And then when we tap into the market, when we get a few customers, we tend to deteriorate. And this happens with people who are even in the food industry, cakes and all that stuff. You reduce the quantity, or people are like, but they used to be so good at the beginning, and then all of a sudden they drop. So you have to be consistent, both in your product and service, and also in your online marketing. You have to keep posting. And by consistency, it doesn't mean that you have to post like every day. You know, some people tell you post every day to get followers, but you may just choose to post like twice or thrice a week, but just make sure you do not miss a week without pushing out something that shows your brand. It could be customer support. Now, customer support is how you're going to handle the customer. And it also involves before the customer, how you talk to the customer. If they have queries, how are you going to respond to them? If someone is over asking you about prices, yet the price is there, are you going to be like, but the price is written on? Or you'll be polite enough and tell them, oh, I think you hadn't seen the price, but it's this. Then your selling point can be that your things are handmade. There are people who make things for themselves, they don't import. So that is your selling point. Or it can be organic, that, let me say, for people who are like in lotion industry or cosmetics, we have so many cosmetics that are imported and we got them from abroad. So they are slightly cheaper than the ones that are organic. But you can choose to be like, your selling point is going to be your products are organic. And for anyone who wants it to be organic, they have to be able to pay the price. The best example I'm going to use here is Livara. I don't know if you know Livara Cosmetics. Livara products are organic, and they stuck to that we are not going to compromise the quality. We are going to stay organic, because people who want real natural products will actually look for us. Then the flexibility can also be your selling point, the delivery speed. How quick are these orders going to be out? Do I have to wait a week? Is it days? Is it hours? Then the after sales services. This is a thing that very many online sellers don't have. Usually when we make a sale, we leave everything, like the customer has bought, I've got my money, what else? But your after sales care is a very big thing, and can actually be a thing for you to retain your customers. They will not only buy once, they'll feel appreciated and they'll come back and buy again. Check on them. Was the item really good? Did it meet their standards? Are they satisfied? When do they think they'll place an order again, and all the stuff? It can also be that you have uncommon products. This is a very good one. If your products are uncommon, then your online shop is going to be very successful, because you're now making it easy for people to come and get these uncommon products. It could be your location. For people who have physical stores, your location is such a big thing. But also for online sellers, your location is such a big thing, because right now, most online sellers are based in Kampala. So for people up country, they have to place their orders online for items to be got from Kampala and taken maybe up country. How beautiful would it be when there's an online seller who is like in Arua or in Jinja or in Bara, whereby the person in Bara now does not have to pay for the bus fee. They just pay delivery from Bara Trading Center to maybe their home. Then up-to-date trends. Of course, you can always put yourself out there as someone or a business that is always having up-to-date things in whatever field you are in, maybe fashion, be it electronics, be it like furniture or anything, be it bridal things. If you're someone who everyone is like, those people have the latest, or you're the person setting the trend in everything, it will be your selling point. Then of course the ease of purchase. How easy is it for people to purchase? And this also goes back to the payment methods. Some of us choose payment methods that are so complicated. Yeah, I understand we have things like Visa, mobile money, cheaper cash, Wave, etc. But you have to actually see what your customers are most likely to use. And now, like in Uganda, for Ugandan businesses, for people having like products, I wouldn't advise you to tell your customers to use maybe Visa cards and all that stuff. Just tell them to use mobile money. It is easy, because we've not reached a point where we are a trusted society to just do online transactions when it comes to our credit cards. People fear to be hacked, they fear everything. But if you tell someone, pay using mobile money or pay the cash, it is going to be very easy for them to actually support you. When you start telling someone, okay, put in a card number, a code and everything, there are high chances they'll be like, this process is really hard, let me go elsewhere. So that is identifying the product or service. You have to consider all that to choose what service or product you actually want, which item. Now, after putting all these into consideration, you're like, okay, now I have come up with my product. I know I am going to sell this. So we go to the second step. Renal, okay, yeah. So the second step is define who your customers are. Physically, we are always told everyone is your customer. And I want to really change this. I don't believe this. I believe everyone is a potential customer, but not everyone is your customer. And you experience things where people you know are not even going to buy from you. Please do not get frustrated. Have it at the back of your mind when you're starting an online shop that not everyone is your customer. Not everyone who needs your product or your service actually is going to support you. When you have that, it's going to be okay. Because as human beings, we are really wonderfully complex people. And what works for me may not work for you. So because we differ in preferences and because there are very many unique selling points like I listed in the previous slide, it's going to just be automatic that everyone in the market is looking for something. There's someone who is looking for price, for like the lowest price. There's someone who is looking for the best quality. There's someone who is looking for just quantity. There's someone, yes. So there are very many things that people are looking at. And the main thing that pushes you out in this online thing is the connection. Connection in online selling is not a gambanogu of who do you know and etc. Connection is the bond you create with people, with your potentials online. Because we buy things from people we feel connected to, from people or brands we feel connected to. So as a business owner, as someone in charge of your marketing, you have to make sure you speak a language that really your targeted customers get. And this is why I emphasize that not everyone is your customer. Sit down and think of who your customer has to be. If you can use, demographics, you can use the age. You're like, I'm going to sell to people who are maybe teenagers, I'm going to sell to young adults, I'm going to sell to people who are like maybe 40 to 50, I'm going to sell to people in Kampala, I'm going to sell. You use different things to actually determine who your customer is. You can use preferences. You're like, I want to sell to only slay queens, or I want to sell to people who want to feel rich, like people who are like, I sell gadgets. And someone will be like, I sell gadgets, but I only sell iPhones. Why? Because there are people who mind the functionality. Then there are people who hold iPhones, just because they are iPhones, they want to be associated with the brand Apple, and they feel like they want society to think they are rich, and that's why they consume that. So you have to sit down and know that not everyone, you can't target everyone. You need a target. You need to target certain customers until you are able to actually make them purchase. That is the connection. So connection is basically selecting who your customers are and what they want. So you can use the 5 W's and the 1 H. It's one of the easiest ways. Sit down and think, who do I want to sell to? What do the people I want to sell to like? What do they do? Do they work? Do they maybe go for events? What kind of things really catch their interest? Where do they stay? Are they in Kampala? Are they in apartments? Are they in Katanga? Are they where? What, when and how do I reach out to them? Which platforms are they on? You do not want to have a service or a business that is for people who are like maybe 40 and above, and then you want to only market on Instagram. It doesn't work like that. So you have to know how to reach them. Think about, if you know the customer, if you finish the other five W's, how to reach them is actually easy, because now because you've drawn a clear picture of who you want to sell to. You definitely know that this kind of person wants to be approached in this type of way. This kind of person does not, if you're going to sell to young people, I'm going to tell you that young people hate reading. So when you're making posts and all that stuff, avoid using long captions, because they don't look at that. They will only look at a short flyer online, and that is it. So depending on who you want to reach out to, if maybe you want to, you're having products like maybe cars, products that are complex, please try to ensure that you list all the specifications of these products, because some people are really sensitive to these things. If they don't see a specification, they're going to go with someone who is like, okay, this person went ahead, maybe you're selling phones. This one told me this is the RAM, this is the what, this is the price, this is how the camera works. Such small things. How do they want to be reached? Do they want to be reached, online? Like, are they people you're going to send bulk SMSs to? Because some of us go and contact people for bulk SMSs, but also many of your customers haven't given you, maybe many of the people you're targeting haven't even given you their numbers. So imagine yourself in a situation where you're just seated there and you're receiving an SMS, someone may be selling online, selling something, and you don't know this service, you don't know this person, you don't know the number, you don't know the company. In your head, you're first thinking, where did this person get my number? So as online sellers, you don't want to do that. Send people all these promotional adverts with consent. Maybe when someone is purchasing and you're like, can I get your number or can I get your email for future use, so that you send them things. Don't just bombard people with items. Like someone buys one item from you, then every day you're sending them, we have this, we have this, we have this. It really, people don't like it, but they will never tell you. So your customer can be like, but this person, I just bought one thing, but they're selling me everything. It's because they did not consent to you selling to them, sending them these notifications. And the next thing would be, okay, let's go to the third one. I don't know if anyone has questions at this point. If anyone has questions, please type them out, or you can raise your hand. So step 3 is identifying which platform to use. Platforms are online places where you can sell your items. And these are Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I'm going to try talking about one by one. I think you guys can note. I had to have something better than this, but yeah, technology. So with Facebook, you can create, and Facebook, the beauty is Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp can be linked together. So you're going to have, when you open the Facebook app, for people who do not have pages already, when you open Facebook, it has a part where it asks you to either create a profile or open up a page. So always go to the part where you open up a page, or you can first set an account, then in your account settings, you go to the option that says create page, because people always say, I don't know how to create this page. And when you create the page, it will give you the name and everything. Try to fill out the details. The most important details are going to be your contact, your Facebook asks for prices of your services, but it's not advisable to put the price there because you're not sure of what dynamics are. You always put the prices maybe when you're posting in your posts. Then Instagram only asks for literally, the Instagram survey is really short. It will just ask for your names and email, and then what username you have. It will show you whether whether your username is there already or it is not there. Same as Twitter. TikTok is right now trending, but very complicated to use for businesses because you have to be on top of your game. And what I can advise for people who want to use TikTok for marketing online, you can, if you do not know how to create these videos, try to get the famous TikTokers to create a video and then just tag you down. It will work best. TikTokers are at the moment are like the cheapest influencers because, you know, TikTok, for all these platforms, if you notice, the top people on Instagram may be the top on Facebook, the top people on Twitter are not the top people on Instagram and all. And the same thing with TikTok. TikTok is a platform. TikTok actually gives you an organic view because it is hard. We've seen celebrities pages not performing very well on TikTok. So get some of these funny people online and, you know, they create something for you and tag you so that other TikTokers are able to follow you. That is how TikTok is going to work. And it works with hashtags. YouTube is basically for videos. So if you have things like how services, how to do this, create short videos on how to do the things that you do. They will help you. And Twitter, you have to make sure you have content, but because it limits your word count, you have to make sure your content is brief. Then WhatsApp, use WhatsApp. For people who are using businesses, you can have 2 WhatsApps on your phone. You have the normal WhatsApp, you can have the business WhatsApp. And your WhatsApp business has a place where it allows you to fill in a catalog. A catalog is literally like a list of your items that you have. So if you download WhatsApp Business, fill in that catalog, it will help you that when people click on maybe Facebook or Instagram and get your number, it directs them to your WhatsApp Business and they'll be able to see some of the services or products that you're having. LinkedIn is good for services and professional things, or when you're making adverts about things. Do not bring the content you're posting on TikTok on LinkedIn. It may not really appeal to the audience. So every audience on these platforms is totally different. The dynamics are different. And that is why you should really create content or come up with things that are different. Many of us have a habit of just when our pages are linked, the caption you use on Facebook is the caption you're using on Instagram, is the same thing you're using on Twitter, the exact words. I'm going to tell you today that you should stop doing that because the words that appeal to someone on Facebook are totally different from the words that appeal to someone on Instagram, to someone on Twitter, to someone on LinkedIn. So you can use the same picture but try to have different words and all that stuff. I don't know if anyone has questions on this, but that is going to be basically it. And Instagram is good for people. Instagram has been something for fashion, selling fashion related items, but everything has changed right now because Instagram allows us to share images. You can take pictures of whatever you're having, whether it's in fashion or not, just have clear pictures of all your products. And it will be very, very easy for you to use. Even if it's a service, take pictures of you offering that service. If you're doing coaching sessions, take pictures of you in those sessions, you know? So it's not only for fashion. People have a thing of it's only for fashion. It's not only for fashion, it's for everything, but as long as you have very nice pictures. And yes, so the same thing with Facebook. Facebook is also for everyone. But now in Uganda, because you have to use VPN, you have to really push. All these pages, you can promote them, but I always advise people that at least in the first month, have your pages run organically. By organic, I mean, do not promote a page that has nothing, because you're going to end up having very many followers with little engagement. And what creates sales for an online seller is the engagement. Your numbers of followers do not matter. Your numbers of likes do not matter. You might have 10,000 followers, but if no one is buying from those 10,000 followers, you're not really gaining anything. Yes, people are seeing, but you shouldn't focus on how many followers I have, how many people have liked, how many people have commented. That shouldn't be your problem. And I think this is a thing that very many online sellers suffer with. You want to get very many followers in the shortest time. So you end up doing all these mistakes of paying people you call influencers. You're spending a lot of money in pushing your brand, but there is really nothing you can offer. Do not promote anything online if you're not yet sure you're going to deal with the demand that it's going to come with. Only promote when you're very sure that now you can deal with the demand. And even when you're choosing people to use your service or product, do not get someone because you're seeing online someone is having, I don't know, like 10,000 followers or 5,000 followers on Twitter, because someone is so followed and you're like, let me call this person. This person tells you, pay me 200,000, I make for you a post. Trust me, that 200,000, you would have given it to Mark Zuckerberg, and you'll be very, very, very far. So you have to be very cautious in the people you're paying when your business is starting. Yes, people talking about you is there, but talking about you is not enough, because you're not going to get money from just people talking about you and resharing. Get money from people, at least invest that money in doing discounts or giveaways, and let the customers push the brand themselves freely. The best thing you can do is, the best promoter or marketer of your product is going to be someone who is content and satisfied with your product. Ask them to make referrals, ask them to make reviews. That is how you're going to grow. Yes, so we can go to the fourth step. Yeah, the fourth step. So after creating these pages, now you know my pages are set. I have to start sharing content. Content is any information about your brand or business. It is in pictures, it can be the words you write, or videos. So one, please make sure you have a logo and a slogan for your business. If you're here operating an online business and it's just so and so, you have no logo, you're just using some picture of the item you're selling, improve that. Create a logo, get a logo for your business. It's such a big thing, so that Even in future, when you're designing better posters, you can put watermarks. A watermark is a faint logo in your artwork. You can be able to watermark it. You can be able to tag your logo everywhere in everything you share. So please get a logo. Do not just use words don't just use the name of the company. Try as much as you can to get a logo and a slogan for your business, so that in the future, people will look at the logo and remember that, oh, this is actually this company. Like I've emphasized, have clear pictures of your product. So in pictures, we have something like picture quality and resolutions. Resolutions are, I think, how heavy the picture is. Every platform has a different resolution and different sizes that they actually want. The picture, so like Instagram doesn't take very long pictures. If you post a long picture, it's going to be cut. So make sure for every platform you're posting on, if it's Facebook, get a picture that appeals to Facebook. If you do not know how to do this for Instagram, download PhotoGrid and always first put your pictures in PhotoGrid before you put them in Instagram, because PhotoGrid will give you an option of it being a normal picture or it being Instagram size. So resize these pictures on every platform you get, and may they be clear. Do not post blurry pictures. Blurry pictures, or avoid posting pictures that sometimes everyone is posting. It have something unique about you. Make it seem real. Don't make it seem like you just got the pictures from elsewhere and you're reposting them. Then always include your contacts in all the posts and on all platforms. Many of us post things we are selling, we do not put a number because we assume the number is on top of the page up, on the bio, on the about this page. Sometimes people don't go up on the page. So try to include your contacts on all posts, state the prices if possible, and just avoid customers asking you what the price is and you said DM for price. This DM for price is a very annoying thing, you people, and you really shouldn't. Very many online sellers are doing this, but it is so annoying. Because if you imagine going to a shop and you see the item you like and you're asking the shop attendant, how much is that? And the person is like, first come, how much do you have? Like, what? So treat your online shop like a physical shop. Treat your online customers the way you want to be treated. Do not ask people to DM you for price. State the price there. If it's negotiable, it is okay. If someone says set a price and if it's negotiable, well and good. Go ahead in the person's DM and maybe get their contact and ask them you are interested in this. The price is negotiable, etc. I can go as low as this and finish that. But don't ask customers to DM you for price. They have already taken, because you displayed the items there, wanting them to pick interest. They have picked interest and you're asking them to enter your DM again. At least you DM, and DM for price makes people feel like you're cheating them. Because if you do not have a price for your item, that means you're giving people different prices. But even if you are giving people at different prices, do not just show it that you are. Put a price. If someone negotiates and your price can go low, well and good, you go with that. If it can't, then you can state that it's a fixed price. But don't just avoid the mistake of asking people to really inbox you for prices. It's a very big turn off. Then use trending hashtags everywhere on all platforms. Hashtags help you be found. They can help your content go as far as you can't. Because now I've put an example of Cafe Javas. Cafe Javas is a big brand. That's an image on their
Sorry, Liz, we seem to have lost you. Sorry, I think I'm trying to get Liz back. We seem to have lost her.
Puts a logo on everything of theirs. They put a logo, and then they are really, really realistic with the pictures. How you see the image is how the food is going to come. Not like these restaurants where they'll give you such an image and then the food reaches and you're like, what is this? Now imagine it's an online restaurant. The food is looking so nice in the picture. They bring it to your doorstep. You're like, this is not what I expected. You will never buy from that restaurant again. But if the food comes just like displayed or even better, you always buy. So use hashtags as much as you can, and don't use irrelevant hashtags, because some people really put like 10 hashtags, then tag like 100 people who do not even know anything. Don't use like very many hashtags. You can choose 4 hashtags, whereby if someone types anything on the platforms, they will be able to locate that to find your page. We can go to the next. Define processes. Now, processes are they play a very big role in online selling, a very big one. And the main processes that define online shopping are payments and deliveries. So I'll start with deliveries. How do you actually do your deliveries? One, I'll advise you get trusted bordermen. This can be bordermen that you know, or you can partner with Safe Border or any other courier company. But if you're just starting, like, because this session is for people who are starting, if you're starting, you may not be able to partner with big courier companies. So you can just get a trusted border person, you know, and use the same people. If you get a trusted border, make sure you're using the same people. Do not send different people all the time to your customers. And so with trusted border people can always pay the item on delivery. That is how you're going to be able to manage the online or of payment. People can pay the item on delivery because you're sure the border person will bring back your money. And this border person, you can actually tell them what this business means to you so that they know. If I give you an item, do not first go and carry people because you found someone on the way, like as if my customer is not going to pay you. First take the customer's item, then you come back. So that's how you're going to get trusted border people. Or use Safe Border. Safe Border has an option of paying or of carrying a package or carrying an individual. So if the person is going to pay before delivery, try to use Safe Border as you can. It's cashless. And if you want to use cashless, what you can do is on your normal prices, try as much as you can to include the delivery price. If you're someone having issues with people who are like, oh, this delivery is high, or you're scared that people may not be comfortable with delivery prices, if your item is 10,000 normally, but you want to sell online and you want to avoid all these questions of delivery, include the delivery money in that item, maybe in Kampala, include like 7,000 and sell it at 7. And when you're advertising, tell people we offer you free delivery. So to a seller, they are happy that you're giving them free delivery, to the customer, to the buyer, but you as a seller, you actually know it is not free delivery. So you've taken off the burden of delivery negotiations and everything. You just know for every price I have for every product, I include maybe 10,000 for delivery. But when I'm advertising, I'll tell people this item comes with free delivery. So that's how you can actually beat that. Then for up-country orders, you can use bus offices and ensure to get receipts, because sometimes when you go like to these bus parks and everything, you're going to find people who are going to tell you, let me just put it on the bus. If you're a new seller, try to avoid that as much as you can. Go to the office, get a receipt, and send the customer the receipt. And the receipt is not only on your, or like for the customer's side of to prove that you've sent the things, but it puts you, it saves you the burden of thinking, if these items get lost, where do I start? Because if you just gave them to a bus person, you didn't get any documentation. Trust me, even if the items got lost, or even if someone got the items, they can choose to tell you, I didn't get them and I want my money back. So to avoid such things, get the receipts and have a copy of it online. Send it to the person and maintain a copy. If anything goes wrong, you're not liable for any payments of damages. If the bus gets an accident, that's not on you. But if you don't get a receipt and you used someone who was just going, the bus has gotten an accident and the customer has not gotten the item, in all ways, you have to send another item. But for here, you know that if any damage is there, it is not on you and the customer has paid. Then have a clear payment method. Payment is still a big thing in our online shops in Uganda. You can use mobile money. So mobile money goes ahead these days and has merchant codes for MTN, then Airtel, where, you know, with MTN, you can get a merchant code. Getting a merchant code is actually not as hard as people think. It takes those things you see people saying, use Momo Pay. It takes only 5 minutes for you to have that code. But this code can help you because your customers will never have to be charged sending you money. Then there's an issue of fraud. I've experienced it. There are people who send you money and reverse the transaction. If you send money on a normal, if someone sends on your normal line, they can send money, then you deliver the item, they call customer care, they're like, hello, I sent money to a wrong number. And because it's their line, Airtel or MTN is going to reverse that transaction. It's going to take back the money. But now you've already given the person the item, you don't know what to do. So to avoid things like those, please get merchant codes. Please get merchant codes. And so with a merchant code, if someone sends the money cannot be reversed because there is no way you can have a wrong merchant code. And that is how it works. So the money can never be reversed. You're going to get done with things of fraud and everything. You can pay, you can tell your customers to pay on delivery if you trust. This is if you have the items. If you're someone doing drop shipping, and by drop shipping, I mean in Uganda, we call it okuyiriba. If someone getting, you don't have the items, so you're also waiting for someone to place an order, then you go somewhere and then get it and what. If you're doing that kind of business, you can stay away, refrain from cash on delivery, full cash on delivery, because you do not want to use your money to buy items and someone actually doesn't take the item. What are you going to do with the item? You're not sure of getting another customer. If you're doing drop shipping, you can ask the customer to pay a deposit, maybe a 50% deposit or even 30% as a commitment fee. That is a commitment fee for you to know that this customer is actually going to take this item. Get that money, that commitment fee they have given you, then you can top up your money, go to whoever your supplier is, get the item, and then ship it to the customer. They send the rest of the money. Or you can do, if you're someone who has all your products very well and you don't have issues with if they reject it, I'll get a loss. If you're that kind of person, you can actually opt for cash on delivery, but only if you're using a trusted border person, because you can say cash on delivery and use a safe border. The safe border will reach there and the customer will not send you your money on mobile money. So, and then you start saying, this customer is bad, they didn't pay for the items, but honestly, it was you. What did you expect? in this online thing, you have to be alert, because much as you're there, you're getting ideas of getting money. Trust me, very many people are also on the side looking for how to steal that money from you. Then you can also do cash before delivery, full cash before delivery. And this is where the person pays before. But right now you have to be, if you're a new shop, it might be hard for you to convince customers to pay before delivery, because people have, and you're not going to blame the customers, it's because they have had horrible experiences with online shops. They have either been cheated, if not, they have ordered for things and then the person brings something else, but they have already paid, so they don't know how to reject. So always like define your processes, communicate these things before you release an item. Before you even send someone a package, tell them this is going to be the delivery fee, so that they say yes or no. You do not want to have a situation where, you know, you're sending something and the person, the border guy has reached, and then you're thinking, okay, now the customer is saying, me, I have 2,000. Border guy is saying, Zenjagala nkumi tano. And then they are going to start fighting. So you don't want such things. So do as much as you can to communicate your process. If your deliveries if you do not deliver in one day, tell the customer, my business delivers the following day, or you're going to get your item in 2 days. Do not promise people same day delivery and then you're taking 3 days. They will not come back. They'll be tired. That shows unseriousness. So, and then please try avoiding, okay, getting these delivery processes I've given you can help you try avoiding exaggerated charges. Some of you exaggerate your delivery charges. You'll find a delivery charge of 10,000 in the middle of Kampala city center. The customer is going to ask you, where are you coming from? Then another thing that I didn't actually put here on your processes, you can get outlets, get people you know who have shops, and ask them politely. Ruth, I'll respond to the questions later. So ask them politely. If you have people who have shops in different places, ask them, talk to them and ask them whether their shops can be your drop-off stations. You see how Jumia has drop-off things and everything? That is how your online shop is supposed to be. If you have a friend who maybe has a shop somewhere in Bugolobi or somewhere in town, talk to them and be like, if my customer makes an order, can they come and pick this item from your shop? You can negotiate about the payment. You can be like, for everything I bring here, I'll give you maybe 3,000, something like that. So it helps you so that you avoid that thing. Some of you stay in Entebbe and your customers are in Kampala. You're not going to make someone pay delivery from Entebbe to Kampala. What you can do is either you have to say my deliveries are on this particular day and you're like, on this day I go to Kampala and make all my deliveries, or on these 2 days is when I make these deliveries. But in whatever your delivery system is, please communicate. Communication is such a big thing in online business. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. So after all that, now we've seen the steps of, you've outlined your customers, you've set up your pages, you've learned what to post and what not to post. You have to keep these customers engaged. So now your pages are set, you've started posting. You have to keep the customers engaged. Number one is be realistic. In your captions, do not tell people we are the best, this and this and this, and try to be realistic with your pictures, with your prices, with your content and everything. Then be consistent in your posting. If you do not know how to be consistent, if you're someone who will forget, create a social media plan, or actually a social media calendar if you can. You can put it on paper or online. You can choose to be like, let me create a calendar everywhere. On Sunday, sit down, say these are the platforms I have, Twitter, Instagram, and etc. I will post, I'll make a post on Monday, I'll make a post on Tuesday, because a good social media calendar, you have to actually know what you have to post, but this may be hard. Knowing what to post on particular days may be hard for a business that is just starting. So just knowing which days to post is helpful and which times. Then every time you make a post, try to go back at the end of the week. If you go in your page settings, there's some, or if you click on any post, there's something called insights. Insights show you how the performance of that particular post has gone. It will show you that you were able to reach this number of people. It will show you that, you know, these people liked the post. These people were not from your page. These people were not. So look at all the things you've posted that week and keep viewing each post insight. The insights you see, and you will keep being critical, and you will see that there are days where you reached out to so many people and there are days where you didn't. So the following week, change your calendar or your plan to starting to post on days where the previous week you had so many people. That is going to make you know when to actually set your posts. Is it a Friday? Is it a Thursday on different platforms? Then avoid long captions. Like I said, people don't like reading. People read at work. They read textbooks. They are reading at school. They are studying. The last thing they want to do is reading, especially on like social media. Try to be as brief as you can. Put a catchy phrase, state the price of your product, your service, or the functionality, and etc. And that's it. Do not give people a very long, if you're putting a long post, make sure the main information is written in your first paragraph, or the first 3 lines have to be able to give the information to catch someone's interest into selling. Then try to initiate online quizzes about your products or services. And these ones can be like, maybe when do you think we started? What do you think this and this? And all those things. And online quizzes can also be in terms of giveaways. People have seen, you've seen where people are like, oh, share this to this and this number of people, then you get giveaways. That giveaway is not really a giveaway. It is the company or the business trying to market itself. Because if I tell you, share my page with 50 of your friends and you stand a chance to get a free item, all those 50 of your friends are now my new followers. So me, I've marketed on myself. You're helping me market for free. And that is how giveaways really work. So encourage, try doing giveaways, but do not just start a page and do a giveaway. You need to budget for that giveaway, because this giveaway is like, it doesn't have to be a loss. Some of you do giveaways when let me say you bought items and the first giveaway, you're giving out things for free without actually putting it in a budget. In your budget, you have to know that I'm going to give out 5 free items. How do I recover these 5 free items? And that is where you go to maybe your pricing. You're like, this batch, these goods that are sold this month, I'm going to sell them at this price because I have to cover up for the price of the item I gave someone for free. So I'm not at a loss as a business. Then encourage your customers to rate you and share feedback and refer you to other people. Word of mouth is still the best marketing strategy you can use. And so word of mouth may be in person, but also now the online word of mouth is the referrals and the customer reviews. Ask your customers to rate these pages. Instagram doesn't have an option of rating. Twitter doesn't have an option of rating. But how should I say? Facebook has an option of rating. So ask your customers to rate you every now and then. It will help when people see these rates and these customer feedbacks and everything, and be realistic with customer feedback. Do not, some of you get a phone, your friend's phone. You get your friend's phone and then you send a message, then she sends you a message and you take a screenshot and you lie to people that, oh, these are reviews. Your business is not going to grow because you're actually not getting reviews from the people you're supposed to be getting them from. So avoid doing that. Even if you have 2 or 3 reviews, use those, be realistic. If you're going to re-edit the reviews for people who don't want to take screenshots, put on the name of the person and maybe a picture that so-and-so said this and this about my client. People look at those reviews and that is what inspires them to actually buy. Then create and keep updating your customer database. For most of us, we do not have databases. A database is maybe an Excel sheet, or you can do a book or somewhere where you write your customers' names and you have your contacts. Some people go ahead in asking for birthdays so that they send them birthday messages and etc. But you can just have the name and the contact and maybe what they buy. This database, this information will help you in future. When you want to do any promotion, you can direct call these people and actually tell them, oh, hi, I have new stock or what. Or it also helps you to keep on track with them. Ask them what they like, what they think about your service, what they think should change. You get? So that database will help you. It's very critical. And you need to create one. If you're someone who has been selling and not keeping customers' contacts, you need to, because one day you're going to wake up whereby Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are down. What are you going to do? Or your pages can be hacked. So you do not want your pages to get hacked and then you cry. You're like, I've worked so hard for my brand. How can my page get hacked? How do I start? If your page is hacked, but then at least you have contacts of the people who have bought from you before, you have where to start. You can tell them, hi, I know you got me through this bad, but the page was hacked. Please follow my new page. It's not going to be so hard for you. Yeah, so that is basically it. We can go to the next slide. Yes, so like I said, word of mouth is still the best way to raise awareness about your products. And just because you're online, it doesn't mean you can't do word of mouth. Please be proud of your businesses. Like some of you sell, but you're like, it's a side hustle, you know. It's not a side hustle. It's a real hustle. Your 8 to 5 is actually supposed to be your side hustle. So because it's a real hustle, you need to actually put in a lot. Do not look at your business as a side hustle. Look at it as something that is going to generate wealth for you in future. So it's not a side hustle. It is such a big deal for you and you need to put in all this effort in it. And please tell people about it when you meet people. You know, sometimes people who do online businesses, because it's online, so you feel like you're not going to be taken serious. Everyone is mentioning, I do this, I'm so and so. And probably you have your online shop there and you're like, you don't talk about it. Please talk about it. Tell people, hi, this online, this is my shop, this is where you can find me. If you're using a website, tell us what your website is, display your items with your prices and everything. So be so proud about your businesses and tell as many people as you can. Everywhere you go, every day you're talking to someone. Make it like a challenge to you that every day talk to someone new about your business. You're not talking to them that they buy, but you're just telling them, like, whether they buy or not. At least tell someone, you're like, yeah, by the way, if you have someone who needs this, I do this and this. So they may not buy, but at least they'll remember you for that. They're like, I met this person and they actually told me they do this. This is interesting. So, and don't look at your other sellers like compete. Yes, they are competitors, but do not mind about other sellers, things like, oh, this seller has a low price. You have a reason as to why your price is high, and they have a reason as to why their price is low. You do not know why their price is low. Do not put your products to a competitor's price because they are doing that. They have a reason and you do not. So keep your prices the way they are. Be specific on your, do not compromise price. That is one thing I'm going to tell you.
Don't compromise price.
So yeah, that is basically it. Can I have questions and anything that will, bring more conversation?
Thanks a lot, Liz, for that submission. Thank you so much for the submission. Friends, thanks for joining in. We have about 10 minutes for Q&A. I will give an
Charles, you're not
opportunity
clear.
to anyone who has a
Seem
hand
like
up.
you're
I
far
see
from your computer.
Langu. All right. I hope you can hear me now. Charles, you can ask your question. We will give an opportunity to 2-3 people, and then we'll have those responded to, and we will try to wrap up next 10 minutes. Charles, I'm asking you to unmute. Can you? Charles, are you there?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Enterprise Uganda. Thank you, Madam Elizabeth. For me, like I said, I provide the veterinary services, and I want to target the people in the rural areas so that they can demand for my service, but also in the region. Which online platform do you recommend will be more suitable for the categories I've mentioned? The niche I'm talking about are people who like to have markets on livestock and livestock products, but also veterinary consultancy services, especially if it is East Africa region. What online platform, what extra effort can I go in so that I can woo in more market? But the number of tips you have given, we appreciate. So that is my question, and I want to thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Charles.
Let's just take a couple, Elizabeth, and then you'll answer them once.
Okay.
Great. You could please put up your hand, and then we will have Liz respond to those questions. Liz, we had a question in the chat room about how to deal with international customers. How do I handle online transactions with international customers? That was from Sarah Akiteng. So you'll possibly add that to the list. Let me see if we have any other questions in the chat room. Great. All right, a number of people are saying thank you for the session. From Susan, from Beatrice saying thank you. Linda is saying thank you for the session. Anne is saying the same. Rukunda is saying the same. Wera is saying the same. A number of thank yous there. I want to see if there's any other hand. Yes, I see Jonathan. Jonathan, you can unmute and ask your question. Jonathan, please unmute and ask your question. All right, Jonathan. Rukunda, do you want to unmute and ask your question?
Yeah. Well, are you people getting me?
I can hear you, Benjamin.
Hello?
We can hear you, Benjamin.
Well, thank you very much to. All right. Thank you very much to the organizers of this forum and the presentation. To you, Elizabeth, very grateful.
Benjamin, your network seems to be failing. Benjamin, possibly you'll type your question. We seem to be losing you. Jonathan, do you want to ask? Yes, Jonathan.
I want to ask. Well, I wanted to ask about the payment methods. Like, one thing about that, how can someone really avoid hackers? Because one of the challenges is that when you, like today there is PayPal and other ways of paying besides mobile money. I think mobile money is safer, but there are other people who are actually may not be convenient, especially if you're dealing with someone from afar, away from maybe Uganda, and may want, maybe will tell you, this is my PayPal and other payment methods. But hackers are also there. You know, someone would also want to pay via maybe website, but hackers. Secondly, in regards, how can someone really, like Madam has mentioned about she has mentioned about maybe someone will hack your Facebook account or your Facebook page, and then you lose everything. And then she was talking about creating a database for our clients. But how can we be safe? How can someone really be safe? Maybe like, as we always put, maybe when it comes to viruses, we always have what we call antiviruses. How can we, you are marketeers, what can we really put in place to avoid such risks of, being hacked and so on? Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'll have one last one from Godfrey. Godfrey, I'm asking you to unmute. Geoffrey, yes. All right. I'm not getting Geoffrey. All right, Alice, you could possibly have those in the next 5 minutes, and then we can wrap up.
All right, thank you, everyone. So I'll respond to the person who asked about veterinary services. The best platform I'll recommend for vet services is going to be, you're going to have to start with Facebook, because Facebook has communities, something we call communities. Communities are groups where people share about different things, and you're going to look out for pages that have, or groups that have farmers within them. Please join those groups. Please join those groups, Farming Uganda, for any people who love those farming related activities, even if it's like, even if they are not in animal rearing, but at least every farmer, even if they are in a matoke plantation or doing something or rearing hens, they know someone who is rearing cows or who has a dog or who has everything. So you're going to have to go to Facebook and look out for communities that have people who love farming. Look, you can also partner. You can try to look out for other pages, other people in the same industry. Get people who supply or who sell vet products. Look out for pages that have people that have vet products or medicine or something, but they don't offer the service. And this can be, there's a company called Buloka. I don't know if you know it. Buloka Uganda, but if you're a vet, you have to know it. Look at their page, look at the people on what people are trying to comment. You can pick out people who are actually asking about the things you want. So that is going to be the first platform you're going to invest in. Then you can do LinkedIn. I don't know how good you are with LinkedIn. This sounds controversial, but LinkedIn has people who are working, and most of these people are working in office spaces, and they are choosing to do businesses in farming, in agriculture, as something else as they wait for their retirement plans. So you can also choose to put these services on LinkedIn. Those are going to be the first 2 pages I'm going to advise. Then later on, you will build the Instagram and the WhatsApp, but I don't know how good you're going to be with the Instagram, because that will mean you're going to post pictures of cows and maybe dogs or what, because people love pets. So then you'll maybe go to Instagram. But the first 2 you're going to have to master are going to be Facebook and LinkedIn for that particular service. Then someone asked me about how to avoid hackers. I do not want to lie to you that there is anything you're going to do, because hackers are going to be everywhere. I mean, even the biggest companies in the world get hacked. You just have to be on guard with payments. That is why I was advising that you use merchant codes. You use merchant codes at least to avoid with the mobile money hacking and everything. That is something you can avoid. So you cannot completely erase hacking out of the world. It's going to always be there, but try to always be on point, on top of your game. Do not just click on any links. You know, some of us get those things in our inboxes where someone is like, hi, I'm so and so, I want to partner with you. Please click here. Avoid clicking on those links. If someone is not a buyer, do not click on any link you see, because the moment you click on a link, information about your page is kept somewhere. They may not hack your pages immediately, but you wake up one morning and you've lost your pages. So do not be tempted. However much someone is like, I'm from an international organization, blah, 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 and I see this business. Don't click on anything. Leave it. If this person is serious, they'll give you an email or a contact. And whenever you get like information like that from anyone trying to tell you, I want an international payment, try clicking on their pages. See if this person has followers, if they have anything they post or not. If you see it's a blank page where this person just has one picture, please move on. They're probably just, they are mofere. And I don't know, someone sent me a direct chat and asked me about how to share information. I'm going to give this for free. There are some free applications that you can use to teach yourselves graphics. And Canva is one of the mobile applications that I always ask people to use for beginners. It is very easy. It has different templates. If you're worried about, oh my God, now graphics, I have to get a graphic designer, try Canva. And the good thing with Canva, it puts categories like, do you want it to be an Instagram post? Do you want it to be a Facebook? So it has all those things already, all the dimensions of your pictures and what already defined for you. All you do is just place in the information. I don't know what the next question was. Rukundo Benjamin is like, how do I convert shoppers into real-time buyers online? This is a very good one. I think we really need another session for this. So shoppers in this case, I think it's going to be people who are seeing your page. Try to reply to people the way as fast as you can. And if you see, that is why I said you have to know which platform works best for your business. Do not just be on every platform. You may realize that you have sellers on Instagram, you have buyers on Instagram, but you don't have on Facebook. For people who ask how much, you can try and reply them the price, follow up, ask them, hi, you asked about this. Are you still interested in this? It's this amount. Follow up, get their number. That's how you start. So beginnings are always tricky. Then I have very many in my DM. Someone has asked me in the DM, how can one build trust in me as a supplier, especially when I'm using cash before delivery and it's a first-time customer? If you are a new business, it's going to be hard. So that's why I advise that you take half a payment, because when it's half payment, that means you're creating its trust. Or take 20% payment where the customer does not feel like, if this money goes, I am dead, but you also don't feel like you don't want to use your money just like that. Take like 20% or 30% payment as a commitment fee. I don't know if I've left out any question.
Wow, thanks a lot, Liz. Possibly I'll give you a minute to just make any final remarks. We will request for 2 more minutes, friends. We usually want to end at 10:30, but Liz, you can just make any final remarks, any final comments. As you have rightly said, this may demand another session and we'll consider that. But just in the next 1 or 2 minutes, please just make some final remarks.
Yeah, thank you, Enterprise Uganda, for hosting me. Thank you, everyone who has logged in. I really hope we do this thing. I hope your businesses, actually, I don't hope. I'm very sure that you've picked something and your businesses are going to be better. For people asking for my contact, I don't know if it's okay if I read it out or I just type it.
You can type it in the chat room. Yeah, that's important. And
Yeah,
possibly
so,
also your handles so that people can follow.
yeah, I'm going to leave my contact details in the chat room. Feel free to contact me anytime you need help with, marketing and everything in your businesses. And yeah, I think that's what I'm really going to say. I don't have a lot.
All right. Elizabeth, thanks a lot for really sharing with us today. It's been a very insightful conversation. Clearly, it's a space where many of us haven't fully entered. And as you have rightly put it, it's a space, a big marketplace out there, which can be used to be able to grow our businesses. So a big thank you for sharing with us. Thank you so much for your time. I want to thank all of you who have joined the call. We totally appreciate it. Those who are asking for the presentation will share when we share the recording also on your emails. You shared your emails. Let's keep working together, keep pushing. Elizabeth has shared her phone number and her social media handle. Please do follow her on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and reach out to her for any further conversations. Once again, a big thank you and have a lovely week. We'll be back again next Thursday at exactly 9 o'clock. Looking forward to seeing all of you next week. Have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth and Enterprise Uganda team, for a wonderful presentation. Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you
and
so
have a
much.
lovely day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.